Welcome viewers to another edition of Brave Namibia, where we celebrate both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. In our first clip today, Michael Kayunde chatted to stand-up comedian, actor and creative entrepreneur Kosi Makazaibia.
Hello Namibia, welcome to another exciting edition of Brave Namibia. This is the platform where we get to shine a light on people that are doing something significant in their field of careers and communities. And today we are joined by Kosi Makaza, who is an all-around creative. Some of you guys may know him as a stand-up comedian, some of you may know him as an actor, some of you may know him as an event organizer, and some of you may know him as a movie producer. What are you not? Welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here on Brave. I'm very brave.
Yes, we can tell. We can tell. I think let's start from the beginning. Of your career. You started out as a stand-up comedian. Mm-hmm. How did that play around, and how did you end up getting into other avenues? Because you still do that, but I feel like we don't know you for that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Eddie Murphy also did that, and then he became a movie star. Jamie Foxx did that as well. It's just the names are countless. Chris Tucker, Chris Rock. So it's like there's this thing with stand-up comedians where being good in that art form makes you automatically enter other industries such as film and whatnot. But I consider myself an all-around creative, like you said, and I'm just super passionate about it. At the age of 15, I was in grade 9, I went to high school. I went to Free Your Mind, auditioned for Last Comic Standing. My first time on stage, I was crowned Last Comic Standing 2012 for Free Your Mind, and then Lazarus Jacobs and Slake the Dick took me on tour. Then I went to Los Angeles, and things just started very fresh for me at a very young age, and since then until now, I just haven't stopped doing it.
Yeah, but what you have done is have a rebrand. I think we used to know you, we used to know you as Tep the Guy, and then you rebranded to Kosi Makaza. What inspired that rebrand?
People are calling it a rebrand, even though it's just me using my real name, my birth name, Kosi. Mm-hmm. So at the time, I was actually inspired by Slake the Dick and Bravo the Brain, the way I had my first stage name, right? Because everyone was the something. There was even Brain the Tool, the rapper. So I was like, what can I be? I also want to be the something. But now I just want to feel more connected to who I am as an actual individual. So my name is Kosi. Mm-hmm. My new stage name is Kosi, which is my first name, my legal first name. And Kosi Makaza.
All right. So you've been in the industry for, quite a long time, since about 2011, 2012.
2012,
What would you say have been your highlights so far?
You want me to brag?
Oh, yeah, please.
No, it's
please go all out. Please go all out.
I enjoy this. I enjoy bragging. It's nice.
Yeah, so please flex.
2012, last comic. But I'll just say like the big ones, man. Because if I say everything, then we're gonna sit here for an hour.
Hey,
how many minutes do we have?
No. Let's go.
I'm super humble. Last Comic Standing 2012, grade 9. That's what put me out
What
there.
does that do to you as a learner? Are you now having so many girlfriends because you're on TV and you are performing at
at school?
How does that change your life, winning that award in grade 9?
The day afterwards, they announced it on the bridge. It was a super white school, and this is NMH, so it was a Lani school. The next day they were like, ons full net say, Kosi Makaza, baie mooi man, baie mooi. Last comics, also the comedian. So, and I was like, wow, that's me. And then everyone just started checking me like, oh, the guy's a comedian. And then I started doing shows in the assemblies and whatnot. Yeah, and then after that, the following year, I went to represent Namibia at the World Championships of Performing Arts in Los Angeles, California. And then I won Comedian of the Year in grade 10 as well, that same year that I went to LA. 2019, I got a Namibia Film and Theatre Award for my short film called India of Survival Kit. And then my gap year after high school, I did a world tour on a cruise ship, doing comedy on the cruise ship. Now I'm back, and my first feature film, for people who don't know what feature film means, like your full movie, because I've just been doing short films and miniseries and stuff. So after hosting Mr. Namibia 2019, I I wrote this movie called Saki's Dilemma, but then it got changed to Penna's Dilemma because the name Saki is too political. You already know myself. What happened there? Yeah. And so now my first full-length movie is currently on Showmax and multi-choice platforms, DSTV, coming to NBC in December. It's called Penna's Dilemma. I'm the writer and star of it, and it was directed by Nikiros Garoes.
Well done on that, by the way. So moving on to what have kept you busy in the last year, 12 months or so, Sounds of NAM. May you tell us what that project is about and what you managed to achieve with it in the last 12 months?
Yeah, it's crazy because I have 2 partners and 2 projects at the same time. There's Sounds of NAM, and then there's Open House Music Project. So whenever I do these interviews, it's like, bro, you're doing a Sounds of NAM interview, right? And I'm like, yeah. And then the other guy called me, like, but this is not Open House Music Project interview. Yeah, but I'll just talk about both. Yeah. So Sounds of NAM was a national tour where we did 10 shows, 10 months with 10 acts. So we would have a headlining act in each town. It was, if I'm not mistaken, Oneuptwo, Swakop Moon, Kwababes, Bentuk, Rundu, Keetmanshoop. Yeah, just all the main towns. Rehoboth, Okanja as well. We didn't go to Usakos. We were scared. We were like, no, we can't go to Usakos. But maybe next time we're going to add Usakos.
Why were you scared to go to Usakos?
I can't get into tribal remarks. I cannot get into tribal remarks. Come on, this is a family-friendly show. Yeah. But we're going to add Usakos. Yeah, so it's basically to empower creatives, because now I consider myself not just a comedian filmmaker, but as a creative entrepreneur, a creative practitioner. And I have this weird goal, this weird mission to just improve the lives of creatives in Namibia, because this is what the life I've been living since I was a minor. So we're doing shows where people would audition in different towns, and then we would book a headliner, preferably from the region, to headline the show just as a crowd puller. And then we give upcoming artists the opportunity to open for this headlining act.
So that was Sound of NAM. Tell us about the Open in Arms music project.
Yes. So the Open Arms music project, when Sounds of NAM was coming to an end, we came to this realization that there's a lack of professionalism in, let me say, the music industry, since both these projects are focused on music. Guys didn't know what an invoice is. They didn't know, like, you would pay the deposit, the guy doesn't show up because he's triple booked. Imagine, I'm not gonna name drop, but one of your favorites, one of your faves, we booked him for a show in a certain town, and then he was booked on the same day in 2 other parts of the country. So he was booked in this part of the country while the show is here. But at the same time, he's also booked here. And I'm like, oh, after the deposit was paid. Yeah, he didn't show up, and then we had to fight for the deposit. Not fight, just, go back and forth. Tomorrow.
So what have you learned about Namibian creatives or working with Namibian creatives with these 2 projects?
Everyone just wants a chance. Because the Open House Music Project is basically focused on, it's a more capacity building and knowledge sharing workshop. So it was a 3-day workshop in 6 different towns. Gobabes, Oneuptwo, Rundu, Keetmanshoop, Swakopmund, and Bentuk, where I presented day 1 as a facilitator, and it was titled An Introduction to the Namibian Entertainment Industry. Day 2 was by Elvo, legendary producer, and it was a masterclass in music production. Then day 3 was presented by the Donlu team, if you're familiar with the Donlu, the Namibian streaming platform. And that was called, Building a Career in the Music Business. So they spoke about publishing, royalties, streaming, marketing, how to make money online, all that. I spoke more about artist management, etc., etc. So in that, what I learned was that just sharing knowledge is as important as giving opportunities. Because when you give opportunities, but people don't have the knowledge, they're like, oh, things just go wrong, man. They don't know how to act, they'll show up late, it's a nightmare. But we gave them the knowledge.
So lastly, you recently launched the EP.
Yeah.
Is it available on streaming platforms? Where can we get it?
Yeah, the Open Arms EP, it came about where in each town on day 3, the last day of the workshop, we would have this little showcase at the workshop where all 10 participants would perform music. Then we would choose the best one, and then the person we selected, the most promising artist, would be sponsored by us a recording, mixing, and mastering session in a professional studio. And then we have all the 6 songs. We've compiled a compilation album EP as the Open Arms Trust, and it will be available as of the end of December. So right time, proper time. New Year song, on all streaming platforms, So we even brought all these artists to Windhoek about 2 weeks ago, and we had a showcase at Chicago's called the Open Arms EP release. So look out for the Open Arms EP coming out on all streaming platforms at the end of December or early January. We'll just see, man. We'll see.
Well, there you had it. We'll just see. We can expect music from, that is the Open in Arms music project. Thank you so much for making time for us. We wish you all the best in your future, projects. We see you. We recognize, the impact you are playing within the creative space, and we wish you all the best. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Am I allowed to just thank my guys who made it possible?
You may send your shout outs.
Yes. Just one shout out to the guys who made this possible, both projects. I would like to say thank you to the Sound Connects Fund, the Music in Africa Foundation, and the EU and Goethe Institute. Without the Euros, none of this would be happening. So it's definitely making an impact, and most of these opportunities are never focused on Southern Africa. They're more given to Francophone countries and whatnot. So I'm just happy that big initiatives like this are also made available to Southern Africans. So I just want to say thank you to our partners and our funders and our sponsors. Shout out to you guys.
Next, Nikanor Nangolo met Rundu-based self-taught cook Magdalena Haingura, who shares her life story and how she opened her own kitchen selling fast food.
Hello everyone, I am Magdalena Haingura. I'm 28 years old and I am an entrepreneur, self-taught cook, and events planner. I studied psychology all the way from Grootfontein, currently living in Rondo. I attended my primary school at Primera School, Wilhelm Norkia in Grootfontein. My high school, Grootfontein Secondary School, completed in 2014. And then I went to the University of Namibia, where I studied psychology and music. While I was a student, I was also a part-time model, part-time promoter or marketing agent, so to say. And I would also cook and stuff just to make an extra income. I also did some nail tech courses. So I'm actually a certified nail technician as well. And then after university, I tried teaching, relief teaching, because I was struggling. It's kind of hard finding a job as someone that studied psychology in my country. So I was a teacher for two years. And then after that, during that actually, I was doing my modeling and so forth. I represented Namibia internationally as well as in the country. I was in the top 30 of Miss Namibia a few years ago. That was 2023. Before that, I was crowned Miss Ecotourism Namibia. And then I represented Namibia at an international pageant where I won the Miss Ecotourism World Influencer title. I have always been that friend that everybody comes to talk to or they ask you for advice because you're a straightforward person. I always say my mouth reports me sometimes. So during that time, my last 2 years in high school, I was always contemplating on what should I study. And then I went through some stuff. It was either psychology, clinical psychology, or being a language therapist. Because I was this nerd that was always, intrigued by the Shakespeares and one just being articulate. And then I finally decided to study psychology when I couldn't qualify for speech language therapy. And I noticed it's also not offered at the institution where I was going. And yes, it started off as a passion, because I'm someone that likes listening. And then giving advice or just giving my opinion on things. And I remember during COVID, I started my own WhatsApp, private WhatsApp therapy thing whereby, people that can't stay alone for long can actually just contact me and then we just chat. I never asked for their names or where they're from, but they knew who I was. So I was basically chatting to strangers just to make them feel comfortable. And it's actually quite shocking how many people I helped during COVID. So with modeling, during my primary years, I was actually kind of tomboyish because I'm closer to my brothers and they're friends. So it's always me at the rugby field or I'm following the soccer boys and so forth. And I remember, well, in kindergarten, I took part in a pageant and I won. But I think it's because I was loud and naughty. I didn't take it serious. And then in primary school, I was more trying to discover what I really like. So I did ballet, I netball and stuff. But then coming in high school, everybody would say, no, you have a nice body. Oh, we like your height. Try modeling and all that stuff. So I tried modeling. Actually went well in high school. I won a title there. From there, I came to Rundu, whereby I won the Miss Rutan title in 2015. But at that time, I still wasn't interested in that. I was just doing it because people are saying that I should do it. But then as I was modeling, I realized that a lot of young girls are looking up to me. So I used this platform, my modeling platform, to reach out to young girls and talk to them more about the importance of education, finding yourself, not giving into peer pressure and all that stuff. So yeah, coming to varsity, actually realized that there's actually money in modeling. Although it's not a lot, it's actually going to help you as a student. So I took part in different shows. I was part of different music videos, mostly with artists from Rundu. And then that's when I started taking part in national pageants. And that led to me doing international pageants as well. And now I'm currently also a part-time trainer for models that are upcoming and that also want to venture into different sectors of modeling in the country. Okay, funny story about how I started cooking. I did agriculture in high school, and there was a time where we were sent to go and, get chicken as a group, and then you had to kill it and you had to prepare it. At that time, I didn't know how to cook at all. I would not cook to save my own life. And then in my group where I was only one girl that knew how to cook, and the rest of us either had to decide to clean or kill the chicken. So I think I was the one who decided to clean it, remove the feathers and alles. And then I was just looking at what the girl is doing, the spices and all those things, the salt. And now I'm wondering now, how the hell are you measuring these things? Because now everybody would be teasing me, you're a nerd, but you know maths. So what, they would always just find those funny jokes in why I don't like cooking or why I can't cook. And then another funny thing is my mom is a chef. She was a known chef during her time in Rundu and now in Grootfontein. And I would, since then, after the chicken story, I decided I'm going to watch how she cooks because I didn't really like reading recipes. So I would sit and watch how she cooks. Her favorite meals would always be the Tswana traditional meals. So I would watch how she's doing the dumplings and making the samp and beans and all that stuff. And I would always want to do it the next day. So if she cooks it that day, I want to repeat it the next day. And I would watch videos and stuff. I actually became, yes, not interested, but quite fascinated, tasting the stuff and mixing things around. And then as I was growing and going through things, as you're a teenager in university, I realized that cooking is actually therapy for me. So I started using it as a method of me calming down, especially if it's during exams or I have a practical to do, or I just don't want to be around people. So I use cooking to just stay away from things that I just didn't want to handle or want to go through. As time went by, I started cooking for people in the hostel because I stayed in the hostel my last 3 years of studies. So I would cook for people, started selling and so forth. And later on, I just, the more I cook, the happier I become. And everybody's complimenting me on my food. So I decided, why not, while you are here, why not make a habit of it and also start making money out of it? So as I was struggling with job hunting and stuff, I realized there's something I'm good at apart from the nail tech and the modeling and stuff. Why not cook? I mean, people will eat. People always eat. So there's no way you can say that you're not making money every day. Okay, so I came up with Mommy's Kitchen about 2 years ago in Grootfontein. So I started with pizzas and muffins for kids at school. And then from there, Mommy's Kitchen actually became known. I started selling at events, at festivals and stuff. During that time, I was also now learning how to, organize events and stuff, because that was also something I'm interested in. And then, from there, Mommy's Kitchen had to close for a while during the COVID times and so forth. But then we started with delivering food, because now people are not allowed to go out and stuff. And I think Mommy's Kitchen became more popular during COVID, because at least I could have people at my place. They come, get their meals and leave. And while I'm busy job hunting, I also just decided to keep on, growing Mommy's Kitchen, just for it to be known and stuff. And who knows, it might end up being something that everybody knows, something popular, and hopefully a restaurant or a deli, like South Africans call it. So Mommy's Kitchen is still growing, but it's becoming very popular, and we cater for everything. We have traditional meals, we have Western food, pastry. We also make traditional drinks. We cater for events, and then we also basically cater for weddings and funerals and stuff. Right. Maggie, after a few years, will probably be someone that is still studying. I am a book fanatic. I love books. So I am still trying to pursue other qualifications, currently busy as well, and also grow my modeling as a trainer, though, because I decided to stop modeling after I turned 28. It's just something I wanted to do. So now I just want to focus on my books. I want to focus on my businesses, and I want to focus on my career, which is also to become a well-known clinical psychologist, not only in Namibia, but let's say SADC-wise. So
Thank you for tuning in today. If you know of someone you feel should feature on our show, please contact us at brave@synergy.com.na.